All right, still working on the 2007 RMZ 250. So I went ahead and changed the fork oil, took the whole forks off, cleaned them up really good, lubed the bearings, and just replaced the fork oil. And these forks, from that manual, what it says is they're a dual chamber. So there's a chamber inside and then the outer. There's an inner and outer. So I just changed the oil, and I bought some of this oil, bought a liter of this, and just changed it. Just dumped them, let them drain a little while, and then cleaned them all out, and then just replaced the oil. Didn't do seals or anything. The oil that came out of this side was about half. Half the oil was missing out of this side. I think it was like the factory is 593 milliliter. And this one was only like 200 something, almost 300. And that side was missing about 100 milliliter. And the oil is really, let's look at the oil here. It's really dirty and metallic-y, you know. So I knew it was going to be this dirty. You see how it is. And so I just wanted to get it fresh oil inside of it before I run it. So that's the oil that I bought right here. It's a Maxim fork oil. So I just bought that, and in the manual it says about 6.8 ounces, or what was it, 193 milliliter on the inner tubes. And what I did, because this wasn't enough, this was 33.8 ounces. 1 liter. It took a little bit over a liter to do the numbers correctly. So what I did was I put the correct amount in the inner, and it's missing 2 ounces out of the outer. So I can still add that 2 ounces by this little cap up here. There's a little air cap. They say you can put an amount in there, so I might do that. But I don't think 2 ounces is going to hurt. Better than the oil that was in there. So for the engine, been sitting here waiting for parts. I did notice this clutch basket spring thing, what's it called, has a groove worn in it right here, if you can see that. And what happened was somebody put this bearing in the wrong way. If you see this little bearing, this is what the bearing, when you pull the cable and pulls the clutch. This little bearing right here is supposed to ride on this thing this way, and then this pushes on that. Well, they put that bearing in backwards, and that bearing dug a rut in the aluminum. You can see that right in there. And so I ordered another one of these, and then I'm still waiting for the piston. But I got everything pretty much together on the engine. Got everything in there and tightened up. I just got to bend this little tab thing back, and just waiting on that clutch part and the piston, and I need to find a little spring. It's a little spring that goes on the oil filter when you put the oil filter in. So I also took the carburetor apart because I was cleaning parts. I got this thing all cleaned up, all the air box, got ready for that, and I was cleaning the muffler, and I noticed that the muffler is a Vans & Hines muffler. So this is a nice aftermarket Vans & Hines muffler that they put on it. And I started thinking, well, since it has this muffler, maybe they put a jet kit. So I took the carburetor apart because I need to clean it anyway. And no, I didn't notice that it has any. I noticed this thing was a little different. This thing is not factory, the pilot screw. And the main jet is a 170, and the manual says it's either a 162 or a 170 because they're showing two different carburetors. And so this one has a 170. I haven't taken any other jets out to look at them, but the main jet you can see without taking it out. And this thing should be on clip number 4, but I haven't checked that. I just cleaned it up. But I don't think they put a jet kit in this carburetor, because if that jet is a 170 and that's what the manual is calling for, 170 main jet, then they probably didn't do a jet kit. And then this needle, I don't know how I would tell if that's a different needle, but I need to take this off and make sure it's on clip number 4. I'm just gonna put it back to stock settings, you know, check all the jets, make sure they're the correct number in that manual, and then put this thing back together. I didn't see really anything wrong with it. Just cleaned it up, and I didn't really take anything off the bike. I just cleaned it up, you know, blew it all out real good, sitting right here. I didn't want to take cables off and all that stuff. In this throttle position sensor, they say don't move this, so I didn't want to loosen that or anything. I left all the cables and everything on. Just cleaned it all out, blew it all out, and checked the needles and everything. And so it's just going to stay like that. So I got that much done. And just waiting for this part and the piston. And then we're going to get this engine back together and go from there. But I don't really see anything wrong with the carburetor other than it was a little bit dirty. Mostly on the slide part. The bowl wasn't that dirty. And if this is the accelerator pump, it looks good. That's that part there. That's the spring for that. And this thing has little bearings on it. And then runs on that slide. And there's 1, 2, 3 that fit on the bearings. If you notice, these got bigger. And then this one fits just on the pin. I don't know why they did that, but that's the way they made it. So this goes in there like that. So I'm just looking at all these parts, making sure they're good. For the most part, they look good. I'm just going to throw it back together, check all the what's called the slow jet and all the jets, make sure the numbers are correct, you know, but I think they are. And just see what clip this is on and then put it back together. And so that's where we're at on that. So I got fresh fork oil. That's all done. And the back tire was missing the bead locker. The front had the bead locker, and that's that thing that locks the bead to the rim, because these things only hold 16 psi, so you're not really relying on the air pressure to hold the bead from spinning on the rim. They put a bead locker, and the back tire was missing the bead locker, so I had to order one of those and get that in there. And then I put that 48 sprocket on there. So got all that done. So we got the forks, new fork oil, got them all adjusted right. Got the settings back to the factory settings. It's you turn these all the way to max, the little rebound adjustment, and then you back them up 11 clicks. And then the ones on the bottom, you go to max and then turn them back 14. So I got all of them set factory. And what else? Clean the carburetor up. Clean the airbox thing. Got the muffler cleaned a little bit. Cleaning the carburetor. And almost got the engine together. And we'll be up and running really soon here. So I'm just waiting for those two parts. And I might do a video, you know, doing like I said on the last video, showing and putting the piston in there. And then soon we'll be riding the 2007 RMZ 250. I might get some levers. These are kind of loose. This might be bent here a little bit, but they got some that kind of fold back so they don't break, because that one on that side is broken. It's broken right here. So I might get some of those just to make it look better, but everything else, you know, looks good. So coming along, not bad at all. It's looking like a nice bike. Oh, and this thing, since I had the forks off, this cable, the brake cable, was running this way behind these two cables. And it was getting all pinched up and wearing. It was kind of like binding right here, coming out like that. So I put it on this. This is the way the picture shows it in the manual. It comes out this way and runs down, you know, to do this thing. They had it coming up and running like this, and then going right here. It was kind of like taking this turn and binding right there. So I put that back like it should be. So I got the engine covered, everything's bolted up, and just waiting for parts. Looks really clean. And got it all tightened up except for that little retainer, and got to put that that new part on there. But everything's coming along. Just waiting for parts. And what I'm gonna do now is inspect all this stuff here, and then just get this carburetor back together so I don't lose all these parts laying around. And be done with that. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. So I guess we'll wrap it up with this video. Yeah, just wanted to give you all a little video showing what I've been working on of the RMZ 250, and soon we're going to be looking at this running engine here. That'll be more of an exciting video, I guess. All right, I'm going to wrap it up for this one. I'm out.